They usually leave at 4 o'clock, so 4 or 5 of them will leave for sure.
So I'll just, yeah, they're just here waiting for their parents.
Oh, good! You got lots of them. Now, voila! Look. Then you need to connect the other former greens to go with it. And then all the other colors
All right, are we all ready?
No.
No? Okay.
Not yet.
Well, hello everyone.
Hello.
Hi. At Oasis, we believe in engaging and creative learning. So I'm especially excited to have Lucas Peters to speak in front of us today. Lucas is 11 years old, highly motivated and self-directed learner. He describes himself as a public speaker, entrepreneur, domino toppling, speed cubing, roller coaster expert and server. He has served as the president for a youth public speaking group and has come to love speaking to groups of people about passion-driven learning. His passions covered a wide variety of areas, including video games, domino toppling, ventriloquism, and puppetry. At the age of 8, he started twisting balloons for kids at the park. He'd go to the park every day to twist balloons, and the parents started asking him if he could do this for the kids' birthday parties. So Lucas started his first business at 8. After balloon twisting, he started with speed stacking cups, which then led to his passion for speed solving the cube. At the age of 10, Lucas was one of the youngest kids to participate in speed cubing competitions. He competed at the National Rubik's Cube competition in Portland, Oregon in 2016. His personal record for solving the cube is a little over 9 seconds. Typically, he solves the cube between 15 and 20 seconds. Lucas has shown tremendous passion and persistence in his learning and loves to dive deep into each topic he enjoys. At age 11, Lucas has taken college courses in neuroscience and spends his time doing complex math equations and reading scientific papers. He is constantly pushing himself to expand his horizon. So everyone, please join me to welcome Lucas Peters.
Hello, my name is Lucas Peters. I'm 11 years old and I have many interests such as balloon twisting, microscopy, and surfing. Today I'm going to talk to you about a few of my interests, which are memorization, math, domino toppling, and speed cubing. First, I'd like to tell you a little bit about pi. Not pi like apple pie, but the number pi, which is an interesting, important, and famous number because its decimal digits go on forever and there is no repeating pattern. This means that pi is an irrational number. Pi is also the ratio of a circle's circumference, which is the distance around a circle, to its diameter, which is the distance across the circle. Meaning that there are pi amount of diameters that will fit around the circumference of a circle. If you imagine that you have a 1 meter a circle that is 1 meter across, then the circumference would be pi meters around, or a little more than 3 meters. People usually think of pi as 3.14, which is why Pi Day is on March 14th. However, 2 years ago, there was a special Super Pi Day on March 14th, 2015. Those are, so 3.1415, which are the first 5 digits of pi. But actually, pi goes on forever with more and more digits. And when I learned about pi, I thought it would be fun and challenging to try to memorize as many digits as I could. 3.1415926535897932389793238466 433-832-7950288419716939937510582097419749 4459230781640628620899862862 That's as far as I can go right now. But I used to have That's as far as I can go right now. But I used to have 100 to 125 digits memorized. One trick I used to help memorize pi was to break the digits up into groups of 2 to 5 numbers. So, instead of 3.1415, what I said before, it would go like 3.1415, then 926, 535, 8979, 323, 84, 626. This memory trick is called chunking, and it works by memorizing numbers as a group. You can also use this trick for memorizing other things, and I'll mention it again when I talk about Rubik's cubes. Some people really enjoy memorizing lots of digits of pi, so much that they even have competitions to see who can memorize the most. This might be a fun thing for some of you to try sometime. Now, here's a cool video of pi that links to my next topic. This is a video of a domino spiral that shows a picture of the symbol for pi. The reason that this is the symbol that people have chosen for the number pi is because it is the Greek letter pi. It would be the equivalent of the letter P in the American alphabet. This is on the YouTube channel of Flippy Cat, which is one of the channels that I've put in the resource sheet. It is a good channel if you like to see some more domino topics. Why is it? It's like a color shift in the video. It's not actually changing color. It's just kind of more cool. So, this video showed us the fun and challenging hobby of domino toppling. The game of dominoes has been around for a long time, hundreds of years. However, there is also domino toppling. And these days, this is probably more well known than the actual game. Here's a quick video of some of the structures and setups that I built at home.
Oh, I did this at my cousin's house.
This setup has about 1,500 dominoes in it.
Did you make this?
Did I make this?
Yeah.
Yes.
All by yourself?
I think, yeah, I might have gotten a tiny bit of help. But it's pretty much by myself.
How long did it take?
How long did it take? Probably a total of like 8 hours across a month and a half. So I had that giant setup in my house for that long.
Today? No, not today.
These are Jenga blocks.
How old were you?
This was a mix from when I was 6 and when I was like 10 and 11. So I was into dominoes at 2
Is this
different
on
points.
YouTube?
No, this isn't on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Domino toppling can be very fun and very satisfying, but it can also be extremely tedious and frustrating. I learned how to be patient and persist through frustration by building complicated structures that didn't end up working. One of my experiences with this frustration was several years ago when I was trying to make something called a wallback. I'll explain more about what that is later. Domino toppling became so popular that something called Domino Day was created. Every year for about 10 years until in 2009 when it stopped, people would set up a huge domino setup and topple it. You can see some pictures of Domino Day here. In 2009, they set the world record for the most dominoes ever toppled at once, which was close to 4.5 million. This took, but What's your question? Do you have a question?
I've seen those like on YouTube before.
Yeah.
Like I just don't know dominoes.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the rest of the questions at the end, I think.
Questions at the end, Morgan.
What?
Me and my brother, did you ever hear we did those? We did that before. Yes.
Okay. This setup includes a lot of features, such as normal domino lines with turns, domino fields, which are many straight domino lines next to each other, plus spirals, walls, where you build a structure of dominoes that can go up to 5 feet tall sometimes, and topple as a wall of dominoes. There are also 2D pyramids, 3D pyramids, and the dreaded wall back. In my experience, this is one of the hardest things to build. First, you have to set up a normal domino wall. Then put a layer of dominoes lying flat down on top of that. Then build another wall on top of that. Once you have done all this, the goal is to get the top wall to fall first and then trigger the bottom one. I spent a couple hours once trying to do this with my dad when I was little. I never ended up doing but I think he was able to. Here's a video of one of my field attempts at a wall back. This was a couple years ago. As you can see, I was pretty frustrated. I also like to set up sonomods and slow stones. But my favorite things to build are 2D pyramids and 3D pyramids. The structures and shapes are interesting to me, and building them and building the structures in the lines is fun and challenging. I can quickly show you how to make a 2D pyramid. First, for example, a pyramid will be 5 layers tall. So, what you do is you set up a diagonal row of 5 dominoes. It should look something like this. They should overlap about the thickness of one domino. So you have 5 dominoes in a diagonal row. Then you place another row of dominoes on top of this, going the other direction. If you have done the overlapping correctly, they should fit on perfectly, and you should have 4 dominoes in that. Continue this process and keep switching directions until you have gotten to the final layer. And on the final layer, you should have 1 domino. Now, before we get to, you can make really big structures just by adding more layers. The world record for the biggest 2D pyramid is 125 layers. Now, before we get to the fun part of toppling these structures, you might be wondering, how many dominoes would it take to make a big pyramid like the world record might? Well, it would take a long time to count each individual domino. However, there's some math, actually some algebra, that can tell us quickly how many dominoes are in a pyramid just by knowing the number of layers. For example, in our 2D pyramid with 5 layers, on the first layer you have 5 dominoes. On the second layer you have 4. On the third layer you have 3. Second layer 2, and on the top you have 1. That's a total of 15 dominoes. It turns out there's actually a formula for this, which is n times n plus 1 over 2. So, in our example in 5 layers, n is equal to 5. So that comes out to 5 times 5 plus 1 over 2. Then, if you do 5 plus 1, you get 6. So 5 times 6 over 2. 5 times 6 is 30. 30 over 2 is 15, which is the right answer. And the same formula works for the 125-layer world record pyramid, which would have 125 times 126 all over 2. Does anyone know what that is? It's 7,875 dominoes. If you're interested in trying domino toppling, you have to start with the basics, which is what I have shown you some of, which is what I hope I have shown you some of today. Also, you can check out some of the YouTube channels that I have listed on the resource sheet. Now, as you can see, I've built a few setups to show you today. Who's ready to see them topple? Okay, I'm going to start with this one. everybody see someone? Now everyone's walking.
Everyone sit down. Everybody sit down.
Okay, if you want, you can stand up.
Maybe you can, the ones in the back can stand and the ones in the front sit, and then you can kind of stack.
Hold on. Can you maybe back away a little bit?
Come over here. The little ones can be in the front and then the taller ones can be behind them. How does that sound?
Back up a little bit. You're gonna see all of them tumble.
Okay. Hey guys, why don't we move back just a,
Everyone's gonna see all of them
just a
tumble.
little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Perfect. Don't touch them, okay? Because he's gonna take them down.
Okay. So, first I'm going to start with this line of mini dominoes. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Next, I am going to knock down this one, which is a combination of a 3D pyramid, a wall, and a tower. Ready?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to knock down this. These are the slow stones that I mentioned earlier. It makes a cool clicking sound. Okay. Now, I'm going to knock down. Yeah. Now, I'm going to knock down the sonomon.
What is Solomon?
Sonomon is domino backwards. Dominoes. Okay. 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 Now I'm going to knock down the bigger 2D pyramid. This one has 12 layers. And finally, the spiral wall. Ready? 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Great job. Awesome.
Okay. Can you go sit in the audience? Okay. You don't have to do it. Okay. I'm gonna solve this Rubik's Cube now. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. What I just did is called speed cubing. Speed cubing is a hobby where people try to solve Rubik's cubes and other related puzzles called twisty puzzles as fast as they can. I started speed cubing just before I turned 10 years old, so I've been doing this for a little over a year. Before I tax you some more, I'm going to hand out 3 3x3 cubes to random audience members to scramble. Once I hand them out, turn them 15 to 20 times, and then set them back on the table. You can start scrambling.
No, you just messed it up. No, you're supposed to mess it up.
Yeah, start scrambling them.
Can I scramble mine?
You can scramble it. I mean, I saw that later on.
That's from the house.
Okay.
Please show us.
Yeah, everyone who I gave a cube, start scrambling it, and then raise it above your head when you're done. Did I give it to you? No. Everyone who I gave one to, raise it above your head when you're done, and I'll come pick it up.
This is really my favorite. I did that.
Okay, you're done? Wait, no, but which ones that only Only the ones that I gave people. Only raise it above your head if I gave it to you. You can try one after it. I'm only giving it to people to scramble so that I can solve it. Okay. No, I only gave out a few. Okay. Here, I'll hand. Okay.
I know how you break them and then you can put it back together.
Yeah. Well, if you put it back together the wrong way, though, it's not solvable. Should I hand out one more? Again? Okay. I'll hand out one more to one more person at the end because one of them popped. But for now, I'm just going to solve these two.
I have that. I want to get that one.
The Rubik's Cube was invented in 1974 by a Hungarian inventor and professor named Erno Rubik, and first became very popular in the early 1900s as a fun but difficult puzzle to challenge yourself with. At that time, most people thought of the cube as a nearly impossible puzzle and said that the only way that they knew how to solve it was by either peeling the stickers off or taking it apart. However, a small group of people not only learned how to solve it, but also very fast, which is why, on June 5th, 1982, the first speed cubing competition was held. And that year, the winning solve was done in 22.9 seconds. The speed cubing population has greatly grown since then, as there are now speed cubing competitions all over the world. Just last weekend, there were 20 competitions, all the way from China to Brazil to Germany to the United States. I'll tell you more about what a competition is like later. With all these competitions, solve times kept getting faster and faster, going from 22.9 seconds all the way down to the current world record time of 4.73 seconds, which was set just a few months ago by Felix Zendes, who is arguably the best and most famous speedcuber ever. Here's a video of that world record. Right now, he is inspecting the cube. At every WCA competition, you are given 15 seconds to inspect the cube before you start solving it. He was the previous world record holder. So at first, he seemed a little annoyed, but those two are friends. And here's a video from just a couple of weeks ago. What? Yes, but they have more experience also. And here's a video from just a couple weeks ago where Max Park, who is a local Los Angeles speedcuber, where he set the world record for the best average solve time across 5 solves. This is his 4th and 5th solve. They're the fastest too. That solve was a little over 6 seconds. As you can see on the timer. That was a 5. Okay. Part of the reason for these improved times is newer and more advanced speed cubing methods. And part of the reason is newer and faster speed cube designs. The first design was the original Rubik's Cube by Rubik.
Okay.
And these are still around today with just minor differences.
Of course, this is broken.
Your tripod fell?
This one's broken.
This is the kind of cube that you would find at places like Target or Toys R Us. And as you can see, it doesn't turn very well. Which is why in the speed cubing community, people usually prefer other models that allow them to turn faster.
How come nobody gets one?
So, another problem with this cube is that if it's even slightly misaligned, the layers don't turn at all. The first big advancement just came from making the cubes turn faster. This came from better internal design of the pieces and the springs, so that the cube can be looser but still hold together. You can see how with the original one, you do have to use your whole hand and wrist to turn the layer. Whereas with a newer cube, this is the rubik'scube cube, made by the same company, can turn much faster. However, it still, if it's misaligned, it still doesn't really turn. Then there was the advancement called the Florian mod. This is where you round out the inside of the corner, center, and edge. This is to allow for better corner cutting, which is the cube's ability to turn with the layer. This is the Diane Zanchi, one of the earlier models with it. And while it is better, it's still not quite perfect. However, the Moyu Aolong is one of the newest models, and it can pretty much turn wherever you want. The Florian mod worked for a while, until people started to realize that it made the corners more likely to accidentally twist, which makes your cube unsolvable until you retwist the corner. See how easily you can twist the corner? Almost as easy as it is to turn the cube. So then, people came up with the idea of squared off corners. This is where you keep the Florian modding on the center and the edges, but make the corners square. This gives you a good balance between good corner cutting, as you can see on this cube, which is called the Gans Air, and avoiding corner twists. As you can see, I can barely turn it. Another example of a cube with squared off corners is the Weilong GTS. One of the newest designs in speed cubing is to put small magnets inside the individual pieces of the cube. This helps with precision by making the layers snap into place when they are aligned. This can be applied to any cube with a simple kit, however, and it seems to be working because the last 3 world records have all been set with a magnetic cube. This is a magnetic Vol 3. As you can see, it's really easy to turn really fast because I don't need to worry about it not being aligned. So, now you know a little bit about the history of cubes and cubing. But how do you actually solve one? Well, there are many different methods you can use. I started off by learning to solve the cube with something called the ideal solution, an old solving method from the 1980s. My dad taught this to me because he learned how to solve the cube when it first came out. It took me about a week to learn the ideal solution well, and at that point my solves were around the 4-minute range. But I was quickly able to get myself down to 2 minutes. However, after that, it was a slow progression to get any faster. But I was eventually able to get myself down to about 1 minute with my personal best being about 45 seconds. Well, solved around a minute, I still wanted to get faster. So my dad and I decided to learn a new method called CFOP, a much faster and more complicated method that is used by most speed cubers. CFOP has allowed people to solve the cube in under 5 seconds, including the world record, which we just watched. My current average time with CFOP is about 20 seconds, and my best is a little over 9 seconds. If someone could scramble a cube for me, I can show you the main steps of a CFOP solve. Whose cube popped? Whose cube popped? Yours? Okay, you can scramble this. It can be in one of 43 million possible different combinations, or about 43 quintillion. This is a huge number, and if you had one cube in each of those positions, it would be enough to cover the entire surface of the Earth 275 times. It might seem almost impossible to know how to solve a cube starting from that many different scrambled positions. But the seed-thought method helps break this down into steps, where each step basically reduces the number of remaining cases, as you can see in this table. The first step, which is the C for cross, I am looking for all of the white edges, which I will put around the white center to form a cross. After I am done with this step, it reduces the cases down to the much smaller number of 228 trillion. The next step is the F, or F2L, or first two layers. In this step, I'm looking for the white corners and the edges that they go next to, which I will insert into the slots here. I have to do this 4 times, and this is probably the longest step, but it is also mostly intuitive, like the cross. Okay. Once you finish F2L, you're down to only a few thousand of possible combinations, which can be solved in the final 2 steps. The first of those is the O for OLO, or orienting last layer. This means bringing all the yellow faces up to the top. If you learn 57 algorithms, you can do this in a single step. Now we are down to under 100 possible combinations. And the final step is the P, or for PLL, or permuting the last layer. This is where you put all the yellow pieces in the right spot. And once you finish this step, you have put the cube into one solved position out of all 43 quintillion. As you can see, CFOP can get fairly complicated, so it's not something you need to know unless you want to get down to less than 30 seconds. However, I learned a lot about persistence while learning CFOP. First of all, I learned not to rush learning. Take your time with learning each individual set of moves called algorithms. I only figured this out a couple months ago, but it's very helpful. If you don't take your time, the algorithms don't stick very well in your head and you forget them. This applies to all methods of solving the cube. While learning how to solve the cube, you may realize that there's a lot to know. So the first thing you should know is the notation. I'm going to try to teach you the notation so that if you want to learn more about the cube, you have the notation already in your brain. Raise your hand if you already have a cube. Okay, I'm gonna bring out cubes to everyone who doesn't. Raise your hand if you do have a cube. Okay, here. If you don't have a cube, don't raise your hand. If you don't have a cube, don't raise your hand.
That means if you have a cube,
Raise your hand.
raise your hand.
Do you have one? You need one? Do you need one?
Yes. Can I start?
No, don't do anything. Okay, now raise your, okay, you don't have one? Anyone else doesn't have one? Now raise your hand if you don't have one. Okay. You need one? And then one more. Oh wait, okay. Does anyone not have a cube? Does anyone not have a cube? No? Okay. I don't have a cube, actually. I have the old previous one. Okay. First, you need to know the names of the sides. Put the white face of your cube on top. If your cube, maybe don't scramble it too much.
Mine's scrambled.
Okay, that's fine. But if your cube is not centered, put the white face. If your cube is not scrambled, put the white face on top and the green face facing. If your cube is scrambled, find the centerpiece that is white and the centerpiece that is green, and put them with the green facing you and the white on top. White on top, green on front. White on top, green facing. Put the white center. What? If your cube, don't twist the corners.
What happened if your cube?
What?
What happens if your cube is different?
It shouldn't be different. Who thinks it's different? Keep this. Do you have your cube?
Mine is different.
Dad, can I use yours?
No, yours is the same.
Okay, who's?
Mine.
Yours is different? Okay. Okay,
Mine's
anyone else
different.
have one that's weird colors? What's wrong with yours?
Not that blue,
It's fine if it's scrambled.
Is this okay?
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't matter if it's scrambled, only if it has a different
Mine
color.
is different. No, it's only if you have a different picture. Mine is different, like mine.
Yours is fine.
Do
you have one?
It has to be colored.
Hold on.
Mine, did you scramble yours?
Yours is fine. Yours is fine.
Mine's fine.
If yours has a picture, or you cannot put the white on top and the green facing you, because the green is on the other side of the cube, then raise your hand.
Picture.
Yours is fine. You can put it like this. See?
You have a picture
You find the center. This is the center. You go like that. You can't. No, I'm not giving. No. It doesn't matter if yours is a good speed cube or not. As long as it's able to turn, it's fine.
Mine is super turning.
Is that fine? Okay. Okay.
Excuse me.
What? What's wrong with yours?
I never used one before.
That's fine. It doesn't matter. Just put the center. Find the center and the green center. Okay. Is everyone good now?
Yeah.
Does everyone understand putting the white either face or center on top and the green face?
Not right. I'm going to that.
Do you not like yours? Because this one is kind of weird. Mom, where's yours? Where did I? No, who did I take? Just take that one from? Do you want the different one? Okay. Okay. So, first, you need to know the names of the faces. The right face on your right side is R. R for right. The left face on your left side is L, or L for left. The face that is what? The face that is facing you is F for front. The face that is facing away from you is B for back. Try to keep your cube in one standard orientation and don't mess with it too much.
What's the top and bottom?
The top and bottom is white and green. Look, this is, oh, sorry. This is U for up or top. This is D for down or bottom. The reason that it's not T and B is because the back face is B. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, if I were to just say R in an algorithm, what? If I were to just say R in an algorithm, that would be to turn the right face one turn clockwise. clockwise is this way. This is clockwise. This is counterclockwise. Okay, so if I say R, turn the right face clockwise. The way to figure if it's clockwise or not is to keep track of the face, but turn it towards you so that it looks like a clock. If this way is clockwise, this is clockwise, this is counterclockwise. Okay, so R is one turn clockwise. Same thing with L. L is one turn clockwise. Okay, now if I were to say R prime, that would be to turn the cube turn the right side one turn counterclockwise, this way. So, if I were to say R prime, you would turn the cube so the right side is facing you and turn it counterclockwise one turn. One of the sources that I've put in the resource sheet, it uses I instead of prime. It doesn't matter, they mean the same thing. The final thing for you to know is adding a 2 after the name of a letter. So, if I were to say R2, that would mean you turn the right face 2 turns. It doesn't matter what direction it turns because it ends up in the same place either way. So, R2 is 2 turns on the right face. So, don't worry about the right on top, green in front. Just hold the cube like this facing you, okay? And then R, R prime, R2, L, L prime, L2, F, F prime, F2, B, B prime, B2, D, D prime, D2, and U, U prime, U2. Does that sort of make sense? Okay, I'm going to move on. There's some more information about that in the resource sheet. Once you know the notation, you can start to memorize the algorithms. Algorithms are a series of moves. Okay, stop turning your cube for now. If you want. Okay. Algorithms are a series of moves that help put the pieces in the right place. One tip for memorizing them is to try to come up with a song that you think goes with an algorithm. For example, there's this one algorithm that I think sounds like the H prime. It goes like this. Oh, no. One algorithm that I think sounds like the William Tell Overture, and it goes like this. Ba-da-dum, 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 bum, bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. You don't even have to come up with a song. It just has to be a memorable rhythm that helps with the algorithm. One example of a rhythm could just be bum ba-dum, bum ba-da-da-da-dum, or bum, 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 ba-dum. Another tip that goes for memorizing anything is memorizing it in groups. Like I mentioned with chunking the digits of pi. So, for example, if you're trying to memorize an algorithm, that is RU, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R, F prime, I would think of it as RU, R prime, U prime, and then R prime, F, R, F prime. I don't think of it as one group of terms or as individual terms. I think of it as 2 groups. You can apply this to all algorithms, and I think it helps. The more you practice the algorithms, you will also get a muscle memory for them. This is where you don't have to consciously think about doing the algorithm. You just have to, it just kind of goes automatic. If you enjoy learning algorithms, there are many different methods you can learn apart from CFOP and the ideal solution, such as ZZ, which includes over 500 algorithms, each with 7 to 14 terms, Rue, and Petrus. Cubers are still coming up with new methods all the time. After I learned how to solve the normal 3x3 cube, I So I thought it would be fun to go to an official competition held by the World Cube Association or WCA. And I thought it was super fun. Speed cubing is not very competitive at all. In fact, everyone was just trying to do their personal best. So I felt completely comfortable in my first competition, even though my solves were slower than most people's. Because it's also really fun to just mess around at the competition while you're waiting for your turn to solve. There are many different things you can do with the other cubes, such as a team blind. This is where one person puts on a blindfold and holds a scrambled cube, and another person stands behind the one with the blindfold and tries to tell them how to solve the cube. Another example of a fun activity is a team factory. This is where everybody holds one scrambled cube. Then they do one step of the solve and pass it to the next person. Then that person does one step of the solve and then passes it again. You keep repeating this process until all cubes are solved. This game is pretty fun, but it can also be pretty chaotic. Here's a video of me doing a team factory with some other cubers at a competition.
Let me see the map.
This one's me.
Oh.
It's not a competition. It's just solving all the cubes.
I want to scramble and then try to paint.
At the competition, they don't just solve 3 by 3. There are many different types. The main ones are 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, 6 by 6.
I cannot do that.
7 by 7. I need the pointer, sorry. 2 by 2.
Of course you make
3 by 3. 4 by 4. 5 by 5. 6 by 6. 7 by 7. Square 1. This is a weird cube that turns completely differently. It's also a shapeshifter, which means if you turn it in the right way, it changes shape. Pyramid. This is a pyramid cube. Megamix, which is a dodecahedron, meaning 12-sided object. And skew, which is a cube with a skew center, which means it turns off the corners. This looks like a lot of... I'm taking questions at the end. This looks like a lot of different cubes, but what I found is that my memory tricks work to help solve these cubes faster too. Competitions also have events for solving a cube blindfolded after memorizing it, solving a 3 by 3 with one hand, and solving a 3 by 3 with your feet. Yes, that is an actual event. Some competitions even have an event called multi-blind, where people solve multiple cubes with a blind. So people memorize and solve multiple cubes all at once with a blindfold. The official world record for this, if you can believe it, is 41 cubes solved with one blindfold on without taking any cubes. The final type of event is fewest moves. Did any other cubes fall apart?
No.
No one has fallen apart cubes. No? It doesn't matter. Did yours fall apart? Okay. I'm not giving any, Anyway, competitions are a lot of fun, and we're lucky in Southern California because there's usually one competition a month. In the last couple months, I've been to competitions at Caltech and Orange County, and over the last year, I've been to 11 competitions, including a trip to Portland, Oregon for the U.S. National Speed Cubing Competition, where I got to meet many of the top U.S. and world speed cubers. I have a bunch of their autographs on this map. Now, I'll demonstrate the 2x2, pyramid, and skew. I'm going to scramble this for myself. Okay, here's the 2x2 demonstration. cubes would take me too long to demonstrate right now. Okay. It was very difficult getting super fast at speaking. I got to this point after a year of practicing for hours every day, and there are still a lot of ways for me to improve. So don't get discouraged if you feel like you're not improving. As long as you keep practicing, you will. And as long as you're having fun, that's the only thing that matters. I started at the beginning with all these things I've shown you today. There was something about each of these hobbies that started a small spark of interest. I followed that interest and dedicated a lot of time to learn all about those things. These are a few of my favorite quotes I'd like to share to express how I feel about persistence, trying new things, and working hard. You can't fall to the top of the mountain. To me, this means that you can't just achieve a goal without working towards it. I also think that if you do achieve a goal without working towards it, there's no reward. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. I think this means that it doesn't matter your ability. If you want to try something, do. And if you don't try something, your ability will never grow. I hope you're inspired to follow some of your passions and interests. Or maybe you can go home and try some of the things I've shown you today. Thank you for your attention, and if we have some time left, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Okay, any questions? No?
What's the biggest one that has the most like squares?
The most squares? That's this one. This is the 13 by 13. It took me and my dad, we did it together. It took about 5 hours to solve. What?
How do you turn that one?
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
It turns the same as a 3 by 3 except you can turn it here, here. You can turn like the big chunks too. So it turns just like a normal 3 by 3 cube, except it goes farther in. What?
I kind of want to. What's that like silver cube?
This one?
Yeah.
This is a ghost cube. It's one of the hardest puzzles to solve, and it's actually, you solve it the same as a 3 by 3 except instead of getting one color on each side, your goal is to get it back into a cube. I actually haven't been able to solve this one yet, so it is very difficult.
I have.
What?
How do you turn this one?
How do you turn that one? I can take this director down. This one, it turns like a normal 3. Just a normal 3 by 3. Solve it exactly like a normal 3 by 3. Anything else? What?
How long did it take you? Hey, where's Johnny? To put this one out.
This one took me about 10. It took me about an hour to solve. What?
What's
This?
Oh yeah, exactly.
This is a gear ball. This is actually the first cube I learned how to solve. It's not really a cube, but it has.
Easier?
I think so. Well, it's a little more confusing, but once you understand it, it's a lot easier. It's based on the gear system.
Is the one that has only 4 cubes the easiest?
It's not the easiest. It's a little easier. It's easier than the 3 by 3, but it still takes a while to solve. This one is the easiest.
How does it work out?
You just throw it up in the air and solve. Okay.
How many Rubik's cubes do you have total?
Total, somewhere between 1 and 200.
I meant how many Rubik's cubes?
What?
How many Rubik's cubes?
I got 1 to 200. Are you raising your hand? What's this question?
Can I see you do this one?
about 20 minutes.
Oh.
What?
How about this one?
That one would still take me probably longer than the one. What?
How long will it take you to do this one?
This one? I don't know. I actually haven't solved this one, so I'm not sure.
Is this one just broken in half?
It's not broken in half. It's actually a cuboid. It's a 2 by 3 by 3. So, yeah. It's also broken. Okay, anything else? Any other questions? This is a gigamint. It's like a megamint. It's like a 5 by 5 version of the megamint, which is right here. What's your question?
This is my last one.
Okay.
Can you hold this one?
That one take me. Oh,
What are you doing?
let's see. I'm solving it.
Wait, why are they different colors? Like, aren't they supposed to be one color, like yellow and then red, and not just like the line?
I messed it up. Okay, any other questions?
No.
What?
Oh, some of them 3D or something?
Some of them 3D.
I mean, do some of them like have like different colors in all of them?
Different colors. I mean, this one has like a white lines instead of black. This one, this one is like teal. Let's see. I mean, this one has purple and teal instead of
Let me see.
instead of purple and like teal, I guess. It's like-
Have that one.
and then let's see.
I have that one.
This one is stickerless, which means it's just colored plastic. It's not actually stickers. And there's one more I was gonna show. What is it? It's this one, and this one have pink instead of red. Are there any other questions? What?
Also, I'm going to have turtles.
This? Yeah, this one also has a different background. Yeah. Okay. What's your question? Hold on a second. Sorry. Oh shoot. It's fine. Hold on a second. Where? Okay, hold on. Everyone, stop. Where did that come from?
Right here. Can I have that one? Thank you, buddy. Thank you. That's okay.
It's fine.
You guys,
stop.
please stop dropping them if you can. Can I have it? Maybe we should collect the cubes.
Okay, yeah. If I gave you a cube,
And there's 2 others.
Thank you. Can I collect? Those are your guys'?
if I gave you a cube, please turn it back. Does anyone else have a cube that I gave them? They,
That's theirs.
any other cubes? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take 2 more questions. Okay.
How many cubes have you not finished yet?
How many cubes? Probably 50, but a lot of them are just, yeah, probably 25 to 50.
No, not counting.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do one more question. Anything else?
Bro,
No?
how many cubes have you accidentally broken?
How many cubes have I broken?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them just pop. But actually broken probably 2 or 3.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. Where's my handout?
The sheets are right there.
Okay. Now I'm gonna hand out a resource sheet to everyone. This has
Want me to help you?
no. This has websites for where you can learn how to solve cubes, watch people solve cubes. This is where you can get some of the speed cubes. They also have websites where you can watch some dominoes topple, and a website where you can get some nuts. I don't know.
What's the question?
If I'm gonna solve the ones that people probably know. Okay, who needs this? You need this? You can have it.
Felicity.
Anyone else need a sheet?